Would you please welcome the #1 international star, Mr. Clint Eastwood. You got a tough act to follow, you know that?
20th and Plum.
20?
When are you turning 90? What's your birthday?
I don't think I'll ever tell anybody.
Really?
Alive or dead, it's your choice.
Think you know Clint Eastwood? The tough cowboy and cop from movies might seem simple, but the real man had panic attacks and almost died in the ocean. How did a kid who played piano turn into a movie tough guy? The shocking truth might surprise you. Clint was born in San Francisco in 1930. He wasn't just any baby, he weighed a massive 11 pounds. The nurses called him Samson because he was so big. This giant baby would grow up to be one of Hollywood's biggest stars. Most people think Clint grew up poor during the Great Depression. That's actually false. His family lived in wealthy Piedmont, California with a swimming pool. They even had a country club membership when many Americans were standing in bread lines. School was a struggle for young Clint. His grades were so bad he got held back and had to take extra summer classes. But it wasn't because he was dumb. He just didn't care about school and kept getting in trouble. His wild side came out at Piedmont High School. He wrote bad words on the school scoreboard for everyone to see. He even set a flaming display on the school lawn. These pranks got him kicked out fast. He moved to Oakland Technical High School, where teachers spotted his talent. They pushed him to try acting in school plays, but teenage Clint just wasn't interested. What did interest young Clint might shock you. He loved playing piano, not just casual playing. He practiced ragtime so much his fingers would literally bleed. This artistic side stayed hidden under his tough guy image for decades. Years later, this talent came out when he wrote music for his own movies like Mystic River. Then came September 30th, 1951, the day that changed everything for Clint. The Korean War was raging and he got drafted into the Army. Because of his swimming skills, they made him a swimming teacher at Fort Ord, California, instead of sending him to the front lines. On his way back from visiting his dad in Seattle, Clint caught a ride on a Navy plane. What started as a simple trip turned into a nightmare. The plane flew straight into terrible weather. The equipment started failing one by one. Then the worst happened. Both engines died when they ran out of fuel. Lost in thick fog miles from the California coast, the pilot had no choice but to crash land in the Pacific Ocean. The situation went from bad to worse when shark fins appeared around the wreckage. Fighting rising panic, Clint and the pilot inflated emergency rafts and started paddling toward land. The powerful ocean worked against them with every stroke. Giant waves eventually flipped Clint's raft completely over. Now he had no choice but to swim through the dark, freezing water. As night fell, strange glowing creatures in the water created weird light shows that made him hallucinate. For nearly 4 miles, Clint battled exhaustion and fear. His swimming teacher training became the difference between life and death. Somehow he made it to shore near a radio station. Cold, confused, but alive, Clint had stared death in the face and survived. This brush with death gave him a genuine toughness that would later make his acting so believable. Years later, when he played an escaped prisoner swimming from Alcatraz prison, he didn't have to fake the struggle. He had lived it in those same waters. While finishing his Army service, Clint worked side jobs to add to his tiny paycheck of just $67 a month. During this time, he visited the coastal town of Carmel. Something about the place spoke to him. He told friends he wanted to live there someday. Not only did he eventually live there, but he also became the mayor of Carmel in the 1980s. Breaking into Hollywood proved much harder than Clint expected. After landing small roles in forgettable movies like Revenge of the Creature, he faced rejection after rejection. One casting director wrote that Clint had a visible Adam's apple, speaks too slowly, and has an unprofessional slouch. These harsh words hit him hard. Few people know that the future tough guy suffered from anxiety attacks during this time. He hid this weakness from everyone. Can you imagine Dirty Harry having panic attacks? But this struggle helped make him a better actor. What made Clint special was his ability to turn personal fears into powerful performances. When Universal Studios fired him for being unmotivated, he faced a critical choice: Instead of giving up, he pushed forward and eventually landed the role of Rowdy Yates in the TV show Rawhide. This breakthrough role finally launched his real career after years of struggle. By the early 1970s, Clint had transformed from a TV cowboy into a global movie star. He created iconic characters like the Man with No Name and Dirty Harry. His career soared, but tragedy lurked just around the corner. During filming of the Eiger Sanction in the Swiss Alps, disaster struck the crew. Experienced mountain climber David Knowles was working as Clint's stunt double on the dangerous mountain scenes. While filming on a cliff face, a sudden rock slide sent boulders crashing down on the climbers. Another climber suffered serious injuries, but Knowles lost his life in the accident. The most chilling part? The accident looked almost exactly like a scene they had filmed just days earlier. This eerie coincidence shook everyone on set. Reality had turned into a horrible version of their movie. Clint felt crushing guilt over the accident. He seriously considered shutting down the entire production. The weight of responsibility nearly broke him. Only after his crew convinced him that finishing the film would honor Knowles' memory did Clint agree to continue. This tragedy marked a turning point in how Clint approached filmmaking. From this point forward, his characters showed more depth and inner conflict. In Firefox, he portrayed a pilot suffering from post-traumatic stress. In Tightrope, he played a detective mentally tormented by the killer he chased. His characters now battled their own personal demons alongside the external bad guys. This shift reflected Clint's own private struggles with fear, guilt, and regret. He poured his personal pain into creating more realistic characters. The pinnacle of this evolution came with Unforgiven in 1992. Returning to Western movies for the first time in years, Clint created a masterpiece about a troubled former outlaw confronting his violent past. The film won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. After decades in Hollywood, Clint finally received the critical respect he deserved while still maintaining his tough guy image. While his professional life reached new heights, his personal life remained chaotic and messy. Clint married Maggie Johnson in 1953, seemingly settling down, but his restless nature soon led to a string of affairs that complicated everything. Years later, Clint discovered he had a daughter named Laurie Murray from one of these relationships. She had been given up for adoption without him knowing she existed. Another affair with stunt woman Roxanne Tunis resulted in daughter Kimber, though Clint later claimed he didn't initially know she was his child. Despite these serious issues, Clint and Maggie tried to make their marriage work. They even had 2 children together, Kyle and Allison. But the marriage finally collapsed when Clint began a decade-long relationship with actress Sandra Locke while still married to Maggie. This tumultuous relationship with Locke ended with bitter lawsuits. Locke accused Clint of manipulation and broken promises that devastated her career. The complicated pattern continued throughout his life. While still involved with Locke, Clint met flight attendant Jaslyn Reeves. Their relationship produced 2 more children, Scott and Catherine. During this same period, he also began seeing actress Frances Fisher, who later gave birth to daughter Francesca. His romantic life resembled a tangled web of overlapping relationships. This created a stark contrast between his controlled, simple movie characters and his chaotic private life filled with secret families and broken promises. In 1996, Clint married news anchor Dina Ruiz. They welcomed daughter Morgan shortly after. This marriage lasted until 2014, when reports emerged that Clint had started dating Christina Sendera, a hostess at his hotel and, awkwardly, a friend of his ex-wife. Throughout these complicated relationships, Clint's children tell very different stories about him as a father. Some describe having a close, loving relationship with him. Others claim they had to beg for his attention and recognition. The truth probably lies somewhere in between these extremes. In recent years, fans worried about Clint's health when he disappeared from public view for over 450 days. His last appearance had been in February 2022 at a golf tournament near his Carmel home. Rumors about his health spread quickly online. These fears finally ended when he appeared at Jane Goodall's conservation event in Carmel. At 93 years old, he looked healthy with longer hair and a full beard. He smiled and chatted with the famous primatologist, showing he still had his trademark charm and energy. Even in his 90s, Clint refuses to slow down or retire. He maintains a strict, low-fat, high-protein diet that keeps him healthy. He learned this healthy eating habit after losing his father at a young age to heart disease. This disciplined approach extends to his work ethic. He continues directing movies like the upcoming courtroom drama Juror No. 2. His son Scott, now an actor himself, credits Clint as his fitness inspiration. He revealed that his father taught him to lift weights as a teenager and showed him the importance of staying physically active throughout life. This discipline clearly worked. Clint remains active and working at an age when most people have been retired for decades. What drives a man to keep creating art well into his 90s? Perhaps the same restless energy that caused chaos in his relationships also fuels his creative fire. Or maybe the determined boy who once played piano until his fingers bled still lives inside him, pushing him to keep going when others would quit. The mystery of Clint Eastwood remains unsolved. This contradictory figure, anxious yet brave, disciplined yet reckless, creative yet practical, created some of the most unforgettable moments in movie history by drawing from his own complicated life experiences. From being nicknamed Samson as a giant baby to becoming the last living legend of Hollywood's golden age, Clint's journey reveals how our personal struggles often become our greatest creative strength. The piano player, the drowning soldier, the guilt-ridden director, the absent father, all these different versions of Clint combine to create a legacy few will ever match. Perhaps his most impressive performance wasn't in any movie. Maybe it was the one he gave every day of his life, playing the unshakable tough guy while hiding the sensitive artist who lived inside him all along. What parts of yourself do you keep hidden from the world? What might you accomplish if you use those hidden parts in the things you love most? Clint Eastwood's remarkable life challenges us to think about these questions in our own lives. Thanks for watching this look into the hidden life of a Hollywood legend. If you enjoyed learning these surprising facts about Clint Eastwood, hit that like button now. Have a favorite Clint Eastwood movie or moment? Tell us in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our next video revealing the secret struggles behind your favorite stars. Until next time,